Hello, my beautiful, lovely people. Welcome back to another New Beginners Bible Study. Welcome back, you all. Welcome back. So, another Bible study. If this is your first time watching my channel, welcome. I pray that you be blessed by the content that I share on this channel. If you're blessed by the content that I share on the channel, please like and subscribe. Please share with a loved one, to bless them and to encourage them. And so, today's Bible studies, we're going to be studying the book of Habakkuk. We're going to be studying the book of Habakkuk. I'm looking over this way because I got my study Bible. I'm going to be reading from my life application study Bible. And we're going to be studying the book of Habakkuk. So the book of Habakkuk have only 3 chapters. It's 3 chapters. And so I read all 3 of them. I read all 3 last night. But the one we mainly going to be focusing on chapter 2 is because this is the one, like the Lord, a couple of days ago, I kept hearing in my spirit, write the vision, write the vision. I kept hearing, write the vision. And so I'm like, okay, that's the book of Habakkuk. I was like, that's the book of Habakkuk. I remember he telling me, write the vision. And so I just want to share a brief testimony before we do the Bible study and how I got led to read this chapter. And so I remember it might have been like, I want to say it's probably maybe 2 years ago, probably 2 or 3 years ago, I did a video and relating to this chapter, Write the Vision. And it was when I was working at my old job. I was working at my old job as a health aide, and I remember when I first got, they gave me an office. I first got my office space. And so they showed me the room that I was going to be at. They showed me the office space. I did a video on this, and the video is titled Just See the Vision. You can go back and look at the title, Just See the Vision. So they was giving me this office space, and so when I first saw it, I was like, oh my God, it looked terrible. It looked a mess. I kind of took pictures before, like, I should have took before for a picture, like when it was just tore up, like when it was just the peeling, everything. It ain't even started painted. And so I took before pictures when they had painted it, and then when I moved in. And so I'm looking at this room, and so I'm like, oh my God, my Lord, this is terrible. They was like, this is going to be your new office space. I'm like, oh my God, it looks terrible. And so then they did construction. They painted it, touched it up, or whatever. And so, but I remember on my way home from work, and I was like, God, that room looked a mess. I'm looking like, how they want me to take care of some kids in this room? Because during the time I was working as a health aide. I was working as a health aide at the school I was working at. And I'm like, God, how they want me to bring some kids in here and take care of kids at this school? And so as I was walking, he just kept speaking in my spirit, Melissa, just see the vision. Just see the vision. And I'm like, okay, Lord. So I had to calm myself down. I said, okay. So once they get done painting it, they paint it. I said, okay, I can do this. I can put the desk over here. I went and drew a whole blueprint because it's just the type of person I am. Like, I like drawing blueprints and stuff. I remember during a time when I was planning to do a home daycare, I drew a blueprint. And it was before my mother passed, and I showed it to my mama. And she was like, what is you doing? And I said, Mom, this is the blueprints of my daycare. And she was like, she just smiled. And so I drew a blueprint. I'm like, to the office space. I'm like, okay, I could put a desk over here. I could put a couple of desks right here. So when the students come in, and so, because he told me, he said, just see the vision. So I'm trying to see the vision. I'm walking home, and he said, just see the vision. So I said, okay, just see the vision, Lord. And so then I'm walking home, and and I got home, I'm like, I could do this. And so when they finally got done with the room, they painted it. You go back, I did a video on that. So when they finally got done with the room, they painted everything. And so then I went in and I set it up. And so if God have not gave me this scripture and telling me just see the vision, I was, I just would stay, discouraged, And so sometime in life when we're going through things and God, he just speaks something to us, he just say, he might speak a word to you, he might give you a scripture, just like something, just see the vision. You would envision in your mind what you can do with this. If God send you to a place, He might be a house or something. You see the house, you're like, oh my God, that house look a mess. Like the color, the painting. And then God might want you to just see the vision. He might just want you to say, what would you do? What would you do if you get that house? What changes you can make? You can change the color. So sometimes let's not be so quick to get discouraged and say, oh my God, this is a hot mess. Look at this place. Just see the vision. Sometimes God wants us to see the vision. So I want to share that with you all real quick. It's because, this is when I first heard this scripture. So we're gonna, like I stated, I did chapter 1. I read chapter 1, 2, and 3, but we're gonna focus on chapter 3 because that's what I kept hearing in my spirit. And but chapter 1, I just want to give you, when you all get a chance, you can go back and read chapter 1 at your leisure, and chapter 3. But we're gonna focus on we're gonna focus on. Turn this off, y'all. We're gonna focus at chapter 2. In chapter 2, we're gonna get in, and I already said a prayer. We're gonna get into it. And what I usually do, I read through the chapter, and then I go back and read the study Bible. I just read with you what that verse is talking about. For those of you, if you want to get a clear understanding of what the verse is talking about, I will go back and I will read to you that verse, because I'm reading from my King James Life Application Study Bible. And so I usually, as I get through reading this, I read the bottom. So first, what I want to do is read you all a brief introduction of Habakkuk. So let you know what is Habakkuk, who was he, was about. And so it said, vital statistic, purpose. To show that God is still in control of the world despite the apparent trump of evil. So this is why I titled this, God is still in control. Because this is what this book was about. And the author, Habakkuk, to whom written Judah, the southern kingdom, and God's people everywhere. Date written between 612 and 589 BC. As I stated before, BC means before Christ. Setting, Babylonian was becoming the domain world power, and Judah would soon feel Babylonian destruction force. Key verse, O Lord, I have heard thy speech and was afraid. O Lord, revive thy works. In the midst of the years, make known in wrath, remember mercy. Chapter 3 and 2. Key people, Habakkuk, the Chaldeans, Babylonians, and key place, Judah. And so it says, and I'm just going to read you half of it. Habakkuk was a man who sought answers. Troubled by what he observed, he asked difficult questions. These questions were not merely intellectual exercise or bitter complaints. Habakkuk saw a dying world, and it broke his heart. Why is there evil in the world? Why do the wicked seem to be winning? He boldly and confidently took his complaints directly to God, and God answered with an avalanche of proof and prediction. The proper questions and God's answers were recorded in this book. As we turn the pages, we are immediately confronted with his urge cry. O Lord, how long shall I cry and thou wilt not hear? Even cry out unto the violence, and thou wilt not save. This is chapter 1, verse 2. In fact, most of the first chapter is devoted to his questioning. As chapter 2 begins, Habakkuk declares that he will wait to hear God answer to his complaining. Then God began to speak, telling the prophet to write his answer plainly so that all will see and understand. It may seem God says as though the wicked trumped, but eventually they will be judged and righteous will prevail. Judgment may not come quickly, but it will come. God answered Phil chapter 2. Then Habakkuk concluded his book with a prayer of triumph. With question and answer and a new understanding of God's power and love, Habakkuk rejoiced in who God is and what he will do. Yet I will rejoice. And this is going to be in chapter 3. In chapter 3, this is when Habakkuk, when you get a chance to read at your leisure, but chapter 3 is when he's giving God praise. Like he's thanking God and giving God praise. And then he said, the Lord God is my strength, and he will make my feet like hinds feet, and he will make me to walk upon my high places. Listen to the profound question that Habakkuk boldly brings to God, and realize that you can also bring your complaints and inquiries to him. Inquiries to him. Listen to God, answer, and rejoice that he is at work in the world, in your life. Okay, so let's get into chapter 2. That's what we mainly going to be focusing on. And then I got some notes that I'm going to share. I got little notes from chapter 1 that I want to share. Okay, so chapter 2, it reads, and for those of you, if you're watching this video and you at home, you can get your Bible, you can read along with me, get your notepad, get your pen in case you want to take down, write notes. But if you're riding in your car and you listen, just listen in, and then probably when you get home, you can go back and you can just write your notes. So I just do want to mention that. Okay, chapter 2. And it says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me. What he will say unto me. What shall I answer when I am reproved? Let me do this back some, y'all. Okay. When I am reproved. This is verse 1. Verse 2. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that and read it. So many times we probably heard this, like I stated before when I shared my testimony in the beginning of this video. Write the vision. You heard this. He said, write the vision and make it plain. Like when you write something out, make it plain. Make it plain from detail. I have learned, people have told me, like when you asking God for a prayer request, make it plain. Like, be detailed. Be detailed. You saying, Lord, bless me with this job. Bless me with this job, with this dollar pay, with these benefits. Make it plain. So when you write the vision, make it plain. Like, so he's telling her back, like, write the vision. Okay, I want you to write the vision. Write what what you want to see happen. What you want to see, people. What you want to see being done, what happened, what deliverance you want to be to come of this. Like, write the vision. I'm just paraphrasing. And so then verse 3, he said, for the vision is yet for a appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not a lie. And so it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come and will not tarry. Tarry means to wait, will not wait. So as we're reading this and we studying the book of Habakkuk, I just want you beautiful, lovely people to be encouraged as you're reading this. And whatever it is that you may be going through in life, that just like Habakkuk, like there's a lot of evil going on in our world, And so just write your prayer. Write out your prayer. Write what you want write what you want to see God do for this country, for your state. Write what you want to see, just write the vision and make it plain, and then wait for God to respond. Wait for God to speak on you concerning, his plans, his expectations. What is his expectation, for our country, our state? You just write the vision, write it out, whatever it is, So like he told Habakkuk, he said, write the vision, just write it out, And so let's go to verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. Verse 5. Yea, also because he transgressed by wine. He is a proud man, neither keepeth a home, who enlarge his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. But gather unto him all nations, and heaps unto him all people. Verse 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverbs against him? Says, woe to him that increased that which is not his. How long unto him that lendeth himself with thick days? Verse 7. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, in a wake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for boots unto thee? And when I look up that word, it said for bootsy. That's like I looked it up and it said it's like a scrap. It's like a shoe. You kind of want to say it's like a shoe. I want to say kind of like a shoe strap, like a shoe anchor strap. Yeah, like an anchor strap. When I look at the word, I'm like, what does that word mean? But it's kind of, it was like an ankle strap. And so then it says, verse 8, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land of the city, and of all that dwelleth there. Verse 9, woe to him that covered an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Verse 10, thou hast consoled shame to the house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. Verse 11, for the stones shall cry out of the walls, and the beams out of the timbrels shall answer it. Verse 12, woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establish a city by iniquity. Like, this is God speaking, and it's like all this when he's speaking, he's saying that all this he's speaking concerning concerning like the Babylonians, concerning them. And in verse 13 he said, behold, it is not of the Lord of hosts that the people shall labor in the very fire, and the people shall weary themselves of very vanity. Verse 14, for the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord, as the waters covers the sea. And verse 15, woe unto him that giveth his neighbors drink, that putteth thy bottle to him, and maketh him drink also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. Verse 16, thou art filled with shame for glory, drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned into thee, and shameful spewing shall be on the glory. Verse 17, for the violence of the Lebanon shall cover thee, and the spoils of the beasts which made them afraid because of men, blood, and for the violence of the land of the city, and all that dwelleth there. And verse 18, what profits the graven image that the maker thereof has given it the molten image, and a teacher of lies, that the maker of his work trusted there to make dumb idols. 19, woe unto him that said to the wood, awake, to the dumb stone, arise it shall teach. Behold, it is laid over with gold and silver, and there is no breath at all in the midst of it. Verse 20, this is the last verse. But the Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth keep silence before him. So we just read chapter 1. We just read chapter 2, verse 1 through 20. And so now I want to read the verse. Let's go through the verse and see, what did that verse mean? Like what we just read. Because with me, I had to go back. I'm like, okay, now what is this verse talking about? What is it talking about? I had to go back. And so chapter 2, verse 2, verse 1, where it says the watchman. And it says, he says, I stand upon my watch, and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I answer reproof. So now this is Habakkuk. He's saying, I spoke to God, I prayed, I went to him to my complaint. So now I'm going to wait and see what his response. What is he going to say? And so let's read what that verse is talking about. The watchman and watchtower are often used by the prophet to show an attitude of expectation. Isaiah chapter 21 verse 8 and 11. Jeremiah chapter 6 and 17. Ezekiel chapter 3 and 17 are pictures of Habakkuk's attitude of patient waiting and watching for God's response. Stone watchtower was built on a city wall or rampart so watchmen could see people, enemies, or prisoners approaching their city while they were still at a distance. The watchtower were also erected in vineyards to help guard the ripened grapes. So I don't know if you might saw in movies. You might saw in movies where they like have this, it's like a watchtower, and sometimes they would have like an army guard, somebody standing up there, and they watching down. And they watching the people that's down below. Another movie, when I think of, I don't know if you saw the movie Life. The movie Life with Martin Lawrence and it was Martin Lawrence, Bernie Mac, and somebody else. But that was like a watchtower, and it was like a security guard man. He was standing up there, and he was watching the inmates. You know, they can watch that. They can see they're in the watchtower, but they can see the inmates down below what they doing. You know, and so basically that's what the watchtower. So I guess basically I'm just gonna paraphrase, like I'm gonna say Habakkuk, like he's in a watchtower. I'm just paraphrasing. He's in a watchtower and he's making this, he's praying, he's making these complaints to God, like, Lord, look at all this evil down here. Look at all this evil, look at all this going on. And so he's making his complaint. And so he's like, you know what? I done went to God, I done made my complaint. Now I'm just gonna sit here. I'm gonna sit here and wait and see what is his response? What is he gonna say back? And he said, Habakkuk, his attitude of patient waiting and watching of God's presence. Stone watchtower was built on the city. Was built on the city wall of rampart, so watchmen could see people, enemies, and messengers approaching their city while they were still at a distance. Watchtower were also erected in vineyards to help guard the ripened grapes. Habakkuk wanted to be in the best position to receive God's message. So he wanted to be in the best position. So the best position for him to receive God's message was the watchtower. Standing up on the watchtower, the best place he could be, because he see what's going on down beneath him. So he's standing in the watchtower because he wants to be in the best place so he can hear from God. So verse 2, where it says, And the Lord answered me and said, Write the vision, make it plain upon tables that he may run that and read it. This chapter records God's answer to Habakkuk's question. 1. How long will evil prevail? Verse 1, 2, and 3. 2. Why was Babylonian chosen to punish Judah? Chapter 1 and 13. God said that the judgment, though slowly to come, was certain. Though God used Babylonians against Judah, he was aware of the Babylonian sin and would punish it in due time. So he's telling him, like, I'm just paraphrasing, like Habakkuk, I see what's going on. I see what the Babylonians doing. I see the scene that they in. But he said in due time, I'm gonna punish them. Sometime in life we go through things and people do things and we want God, like, get them, Lord. You see what they doing, like, Lord, get them. And God doesn't work on our timeline. He don't work on our timeline. He does things on his time. So in due time, in due season, God is going to punish them, but not because we want them to be punished right now. And in the right time, he's going to, He's going to judgment. It's going to be judgment on them, not when we want them to. So we can't rush. God to to do something. Like, even when we praying and we got a printed request and like, it don't happen over, sometimes it do, sometimes it don't. But we have to just wait. Be patient. We have to be patient and just wait. Wait to see the outcome. Sometimes it may take days, weeks, months, years, but we just have to be patient and wait on God. Okay, so verse 3, where it says, For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come and will not tarry. And what that verse is talking about, it said, Evil seems to have the upper hand in the world. Like Habakkuk, Christians often feel angry and discouraged as they see what goes on. Habakkuk complained vigorously to God about it. God answered to him in the same answer he would give us. Be patient. Be patient. Be patient. I will work out my plans in my perfect timing. It isn't easy to be patient, but it helps to remember that God hates sin even more than we do. Punishment of sin will certainly come, as God told Habakkuk. Wait for it. To trust God fully means to trust him even when we don't understand why events occur as they do. And verse 4. So now we have verse 4, and it says, Behold, his soul which is lifted up and not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Let's read what that verse is talking about. The wicked Babylonians trusted in themselves and would fall, but the just, righteous live because of their faith and trust in God. This verse here inspires countless Christians. Paul quotes it in Romans 1 and 7. And this is so true. I heard it. It's even a song. I think it's by William Murphy. And it's titled The Just Shall Live by Faith. And it said Paul quoted in Romans chapter 1 verse 17 and Galatians chapter 3 verse 11. The writer of Hebrews quoted in chapter 10 verse 38 just before the famous chapter of faith. And it is helpful to all Christians who must live through difficult times without seeing signs of hope. Christians must trust that God is directing all things according to his purposes. And then it goes to say, Babylonia was proud, trusted in itself and its military might, and lived to satisfy its own lust at the expense of captivity. But these very sins will rise up to judge it, and the captives it wronged was stripped and taunt Babylonian. Justice will come slowly, but it will come. So God was like telling Habakkuk, like, justice is going to come. Justice is going to come, but it's going to come slowly. Like, it's not going to come on just because you want me to do something right now, Habakkuk. But be patient, just be patient and wait. Like, it's going, justice is going to come to the Babylonians. They're going to be judged, But I can't just judge them right now because you want me to judge them. You want me to do something. I need you to be patient. Okay, so verse 9 through 13. Verse 9 where it read, Woe to him that covered evil purges to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Verse 10, Thou hast consoled in shame to the house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. And it's all the way, as you read from verse 9 all the way to 13. And I want to read what that verse is talking about. Hold on one second, y'all. I gotta get my charger. 1 second. Okay, y'all. Let me plug this in because my battery is about to die. Okay. My battery was about to die. Okay. So, verse 9 through 13, and it reads, this is what that verse is talking about, verse 9 to 13. And it reads, The Babylonians' riches came from the male fortune of others. And these riches were turned to worthlessness, ashes in its hand. The victims in their city will cry out against the Babylonian. Money is not evil, but God condemns the love of riches and all evil means of acquiring it. 1 Timothy chapter 6 and 10. Be careful not to hunger for wealth so much that you lose your appetite for God. Do not allow money to take the place of family, friends, or God. In verse 18, where it said, What profit the graven image that the maker thereof hath given it the molten image, and a teacher of lies, that the maker of his work trusted there to make dumb idols. And this is verse 18. I'm going to read what this is talking about. Idolatry may seem like a sin that modern people need not to fear. But idolatry is not just bowing down to idols. It is trusting in what one has made and therefore. And one owns power as a creator and sustainer. If we say we worship God, but we put our trust in bank account, homes, business, and organization, then we are idolaters. We are idolaters. Do you trust God more than you trust what your hands have made? And then verse 20, but the Lord is in his, and this is the last verse, you all. The Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth keep silence before him. Let's read what this verse is talking about. And it says, Idols have no life, And I shared, oh my God, I did a video on this, and it's titled Clean Out Your House. It's titled Clean Out Your House, and I was talking about idols, and then I was sharing my testimony from I was working at this job. I was working at this job, and they was worshiping idols, witchcraft, all that stuff. They worship idols. They was praying to the dead. And so, as I'm reading this, what came to my mind, and I shared it in that video, it said clean out your house. It came to my mind, the movie of the Ten Commandments. The movie of the Ten Commandments, when Pharaoh's firstborn son died, and he took his son. If you all saw the movie, he took his son and he laid him under his Egyptian god, praying that his Egyptian god would bring his son back to life. His son did not come back to life. So that there should let you know that idols have no life. They have no life. So you're praying to this thing, they have no life. They can't even speak back to you. They can't even speak back to you. All you do, you worship, and all he's doing is, from my experience from working at a place, is death. Is death. Like, it brings death. It brings death upon whoever. If it's like a place, like a job, the house, whoever is worshiping him, it brings death upon the house. It brings death. And so that's another reason why the Lord. That's another reason why the Lord let him. He's like, you have to leave this job. You have to go. Because working at the job from experience, like, there was so many, it was deaths and stuff. Like, I would, I would dreams. It would be dreams. It would be vision. I had a dream of one of my it was one of my coworkers. It was a death angel. I kept having death dreams about that coworker. And I was sitting there. I'm like, God, why am I seeing this? Like, why? And one day he told me, he was like, did you pray for her? Did you pray for her? And so I began to pray for her. So that death angel, could bypass her, because, I kept having, it was dreams. I kept having dreams and vision about this person. And so as I'm reading this, and it said, idols have no life. Idols they don't have no life. They don't have no life. They can't, people, I don't know, they worship these false gods, and they can't heal you. They can't speak to you. All you doing, you just worshiping an idol. And it said, idols have no life, no priesthood, no power. They are empty chunks of wood of stone. Temples built to idols are equally empty. No one lives there but the Lord. But the Lord in his temple, he is a real person, alive and powerful. He is truly and fully God. Idolaters command their idols to save them, but we worship the living God. Come to him in silence. We great respect and reverence. We acknowledge that he is in control and knows what he is doing. Idols remain silent because they cannot answer. They can't speak back to you. They can't speak back to you. They can't speak back to you. They can't. I just gave you all an example. If you want to, like this, test the spirit and try and see if of God. I just gave you all, for those of you, if you want to know the answer to that, like, if you worship these false gods and do they work, all you gotta do, the movie, the Ten Commandments, he laid his son up under his false god. He did not bring his son back to life. And do you know what Pharaoh said? Do you know what Pharaoh told Moses? He said, your God is God. Your God is God, because he laid his son up under his Egyptian god and didn't bring his son back to life. But when he seen Moses coming in, and Moses did all these pledges and stuff, and then not only that, the part in the Red Sea, he said, your God is God. So that there gives you the answer to, like, these false gods. They're not real. They can't hear you. They can't speak back to you. All you doing, is entertaining. All you doing is entertaining an evil spirit. I'm just sharing my testimony from when I was working at this place and they was worshiping idols, doing witchcraft and all that stuff. All you doing, you entertaining an evil spirit. Okay, that's all you doing. You are entertaining an evil spirit, and you need to get rid of it. You need to repent. You need to get that whatever it is, the idol you worship. You need to get it out your house, get it out your car, get whatever you have it at. You need to get it out. You need to stop doing it. You need to stop praying to these false gods. It's because all you're doing is entertaining an evil spirit. And so this is end of the chapter, y'all. And so I pray that you all was blessed by this Bible study. I pray that you got some out of it. So just like Habakkuk, with everything that's going on in the world, all this evil and all this stuff, God wants you write the vision, make it plain, pray about it. You need to pray, but like Habakkuk did, he went somewhere where he in the watchtower, so he sometimes you might have to go somewhere. Sometimes you might have to go somewhere where you really can hear God and you can get your answer. And so this Bible study is titled "God is Still in Control." So I just want you to be encouraged and to know that whatever goes on, don't let it discourage you, to know that God is still in control. God is still on the throne. There's so much stuff that I see, and I'm looking like all this, and all I have to keep reminding myself is that God is still on the throne. God is still in control. He's still in control. In due season, God is, God is going to bring judgment. Judgment. Judgment is going to come. The judgment is going to come on your city, your state, your country. Judgment. God is going to say judgment. Enough is enough. Judgment. He's the same God. The same God that we're reading about in this Bible about Habakkuk. He's the same God today, yesterday, today, and forevermore. He's still the same God. He's still in control. So that's all I have for now. I pray that you all was blessed by this Bible study. Until next time, it's your girl Melissa. God bless. I love you with the love of Jesus.